You know, there's something I've noticed as I've gotten older, something a lot of us start to feel but don't always talk about. Have you ever found yourself pulling back a little from social gatherings, or feeling like you'd rather stay home than go out like you used to? Maybe you've even noticed friends or loved ones in their 70s who've started to distance themselves, and you've wondered why. It's a common thing, really. And it's not always about loneliness or sadness. Sometimes, it's just part of the natural rhythm of life as we age. But understanding why it happens can help us make sense of our own feelings or even support the people we care about who might be stepping back a little. So today, let's talk about 7 reasons why many people in their 70s start distancing themselves from others. Some of these might surprise you, and some might feel very familiar. But my hope is that by the end of this, you'll see that it's not just giving up or withdrawing, it's often a lot more thoughtful than that. Now, the first reason is one that doesn't get talked about enough. Energy just isn't what it used to be. And that's not a bad thing, it's just reality. Think about it. When we were younger, we could go out for dinner, stay late chatting, and still wake up the next morning feeling fine. But these days, a long evening might leave us exhausted for days. It's not that we don't want to see people, it's just that our bodies are honest with us in a way they never were before. We start to prioritize rest because we have to. And sometimes, that means saying no more often than we'd like. Then there's the second reason: conversations change as we age. Have you ever been at a gathering where everyone's talking about things that just don't resonate with you anymore? Maybe it's the latest technology, or the hustle of careers, or even the challenges of raising kids, things that feel distant from your life now. It's not that these topics are bad, they're just not where you are. And after a while, it can feel easier to step back than to keep forcing yourself into conversations that don't quite fit. But here's the thing, this doesn't mean you're disconnecting from life. It might just mean you're looking for deeper, more meaningful connections. And that leads us to the third reason: many of us start valuing quality over quantity. In our 70s, we've often lost people, friends, family members, spouses. Those losses teach us how precious time is. So instead of filling our days with casual chats or big gatherings, we might choose to spend our energy on the few people who truly understand us, who share our memories, and who make us feel seen. It's not about pushing others away, it's about cherishing what matters most. Now, these are just the first few reasons, but already, I hope you're seeing that this isn't about isolation, it's about choice. And as we move forward, we'll explore even more of these reasons, each one shedding light on why this stage of life can feel quieter, but also, in its own way, richer. Because sometimes, stepping back isn't about closing doors, it's about deciding which ones to leave open. You know, one of the most interesting things about getting older is how our perspective shifts. What mattered to us at 40 or 50 might not hold the same weight now. And that brings me to the fourth reason why many people in their 70s start distancing themselves. They've simply outgrown certain relationships. Think about it. How many friendships in your life have been built on convenience? Maybe it was the neighbor you chatted with because your kids played together, or the coworker you had lunch with simply because your desks were close. There's nothing wrong with those connections, but as we age, we often find ourselves asking, does this person really understand me? Do we share the same values now? If the answer is no, it's not uncommon to let those ties fade naturally. It's not about being unkind, it's about no longer forcing bonds that don't feed your soul. And that leads right into the fifth reason: emotional self-preservation. Let's be honest, as we get older, our hearts grow a little more tender. We've experienced losses, disappointments, maybe even betrayals. And at a certain point, we realize that not every relationship is worth the emotional toll. Some people bring more stress than joy, more drama than peace. So, we start to protect our peace by stepping back from situations or people that drain us. It's not about being antisocial, it's about choosing environments where we feel good. Now, the sixth reason might surprise you: a desire for simplicity. In our 70s, many of us have spent decades attending events, keeping up with social obligations, and saying yes when we really wanted to say no. But now, we're done with the performative parts of life, the small talk, the forced smiles, the exhausting rituals. Instead, we crave quiet mornings with a good book, long phone calls with old friends who get us, or even the comfort of our own company. It's not loneliness, it's contentment. And here's the beautiful thing, this kind of distancing isn't always permanent. Sometimes, it's just a season, a chance to recharge, reflect, and decide what we truly want from the years ahead. Because the truth is, aging isn't about losing connections, it's about curating them. It's about realizing that time is precious and choosing to spend it with people who make our hearts feel full. Now, as we move into the final part of this conversation, we'll explore the last reason, one that ties everything together, and talk about how this natural distancing can actually lead to a richer, more authentic way of living. Because sometimes, stepping back isn't an ending, it's the beginning of something even more meaningful. You know, there's something profoundly liberating about reaching your 70s. You've earned the right to be unapologetically yourself. And that brings us to the seventh and final reason why many people start distancing themselves from others at this stage of life. They're finally prioritizing their own happiness. Think about it. How many years did we spend trying to please others? Saying yes to invitations we didn't want to accept, maintaining relationships out of obligation, or dimming our true selves to fit someone else's expectations. By our 70s, we realize life is too short for that. We start embracing what we enjoy, whether that's peaceful solitude, deeper connections with a select few, or simply the freedom to do things on our own terms. It's not selfishness, it's wisdom. Now, if you've been nodding along to any of these reasons, I want you to know something important. This is all perfectly normal. What might look like withdrawing to others is often just a natural evolution, a shift toward what truly matters. But here's the key, distance doesn't have to mean disconnection. Maybe it means reaching out to an old friend who always made you laugh, joining a small group that shares your interests, a book club, gardening group, or even an online community, or simply giving yourself permission to enjoy your own company without guilt. Because at the end of the day, this stage of life isn't about having a crowded room, it's about having a meaningful one. Whether that's 2 close friends or 20, what matters is that you feel seen, heard, and valued. So if you've been feeling like stepping back a little lately, I hope this conversation has helped you see that you're not alone, and that there's beauty in this chapter too. It's not about closing doors, it's about walking through the ones that lead to your joy. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you noticed these changes in yourself or someone you care about? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more honest conversations about life after 60. Remember, the best connections aren't measured by how many people surround you, but by how much light they bring to your life. Here's to living these years exactly as you choose, with intention, with peace, and with joy. Until next time, take care of that beautiful heart of yours. You've earned it.